Hey guys, welcome back to another video and another reading wrap up. I have finally read enough books that I can do my normal 2-month reading wrap up as opposed to the last one that I had posted where I had to do 4 months because I'd read so minimal of an amount of books that I needed to have enough to even talk about. So I've read a little bit more these past couple months, which I'm very happy about. I'm very much in my reading groove, though my baby is due in like 2 months. So I think as soon as that baby comes, screeching halt, no more book reading for a while. We'll see though. I'll try my best, but we'll see how life goes. But I'm going to go through what I read for September and October. I do have myself a very large iced coffee. Delicious. Need that little boost of caffeine whenever I can get it. So I'm going to be sipping on that while we talk about books. Of course, it's not that many books because it just is what it is. Being a mom with a toddler and having life happen and stuff going on all the time, there's only so much reading that I can realistically do. But I'm very happy with how much I've gotten read the past couple months because it's definitely an improvement. With that being said though, I only have a couple of the books on hand. Either I've lent out books that I read in the past couple months or I had gotten them from the library and have since taken them back to the library. So I don't have physical copies, but that will not slow us down. So without further ado, let's go ahead, jump in, and I will let you guys know what I read and what I thought of those books. September, the first 2 books that I read were the last of the Naturals series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So All In and Bad Blood. Those were rereads for me. The whole series was a reread for me. I loved it the first time I read it. Loved it again. 5 stars, 5-star series, 5-star books. It's just one of the greats. And the reason I don't have the last 2 books is because I lent them to my mom because I got her hooked on the books as well. I knew she would love them. Very much up her alley of genre of books that she likes. So that's why I don't have those, but they were great. Then I read 12, which is the novella in that series that Jennifer Lynn Barnes wrote, I guess, sometime after the original books had been released, which I didn't know about, but seeing the series resurface on the internet, I saw that with the new editions, everyone talking about how at the end of the last book, there's a novella in it, and I was like, wait, what? I did not know about this. So I was like, I need to get on that. I need to read that because I love anything by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Her books are amazing, and I loved the Natural series, so I'm like, I need to read this novella, which it was only like 100 pages, maybe a little bit more. So it was a very quick read. I did only rate it 4 stars just because, I don't know, I think I wanted more. It just wasn't that 5-star feeling for me. Honestly, I really don't have a reason for that, but is what it is. But I was very happy to read it. I ended up having to download it on Kindle because I don't think you can get a physical copy of just the novella. Either you have to buy the last book to have the physical copy of it or buy it on Kindle. So that's what I did. And like I said, it was pretty good, but it just wasn't like the absolute best book I ever read. Then for the last book that I read in September was, which I finally have actual physical copy of, Only a Monster by Vanessa Len, which this book, when I first read it, loved it because this was a reread again for me because the second book in the series was released this year, I think last month actually. So I was like, well, I want to read the second book, but I really don't remember what happened in the first book, so I need to reread this, which is a good thing I did because honestly I forgot basically everything, which is ridiculous because it's one of my favorite books and it's a 5-star read and I just love it. And yet I still forgot so many details, but it had been over a year, I think, since I read it first. So I was like, I need to refresh my memory, reread it. Still loved it. If you have not heard of this book and don't know what this book is about, it is fantasy, but it's very, I always forget the term. Is it low fantasy? I don't know what it's called. Where it's just basically magic in the real world kind of a deal. So it's about a girl who finds out that she's a monster. There are certain people in the world who can do time traveling, and her family is one of them, which she doesn't find out until in this book. So she's much older, so it's a shock to her, but in order to time travel, you need to steal time from humans. And so it's like a moral dilemma with her, but there's the hero who is trying to get rid of the monsters who time travel by stealing time from humans. And so it's like this whole story of her trying to like go back and fix things. So anyway, that's just a very general description of what the book is. Honestly, it's probably not even a good one, but I did absolutely love it. I do realize I really like time travel in a book, I think, because whenever there is time travel. I seem to love it. I also loved that they traveled back to the 90s. So it was very nostalgic and just like, it was just a good, really good feeling book. So this was still 5 stars, but this book finished up September for me. And then of course I picked up the next book, which is Never a Hero. I was very sad to see and to also say now that I was a little bit disappointed with this book. It's hard because I can't really say exactly what it was that disappointed me without kind of giving away what happens in the first book and this book, but it just was very slow. I'm just gonna go with that. It was very slow. I also noticed that the author's writing, which I didn't notice in the first book, I don't know if I just overlooked it because I loved the story so much and I was so engrossed in it, but this one, the author repeats herself so many times and it's kind of obnoxious. Like the main character will have these thoughts and it's like the same sentence like 50 times. Like it's ridiculous. And it's not like in a row, it's just like every other paragraph and it's like thinking back and thinking back and thinking back and it's like, okay, I got it. Like I understand, like, I don't know, it just was not that great and it was kind of really boring to get going and it got a little bit interesting towards the very end of it, but it was like, it was seriously like the last chunk of the book that was even a little bit interesting. So I'm really sad about that because I was so looking forward to this book and it was highly anticipated. I couldn't wait for it to come out. And then it was just kind of really a letdown, which I feel bad to say. I only rated it 2 stars, which is so crazy with having rated the first one 5 stars, then to go to the second one and rate it 2. Now, it could just be how the storyline was going in this book based off of the first book and what happens, that it was just boring for me. So I might read the next book when it comes out because I know sometimes there's like a dud in a book series where like you're reading through it and you're like, well, you have to read this book in order for it to set up for the next book and that one's going to be great. So I might still read the next books in the series. But as of right now, I'm really not feeling it. And I don't know that I'm in a rush to read the next book when it does come out. So I was really, like I said, really bummed about that. Really sad because I had really high expectations for it. So that was really a bummer. And then, yeah, the next 2 after that also were not. They weren't 5-star reads. We'll just go with that. These are the 2 that I got from the library. So don't have physical copies of, but the first one was Hello Stranger by Catherine Center. I really did like it. It was a cute book. It was a cute read. I was expecting to like it more than I did. And I think because I saw YouTubers saying that it's like an amazing 5-star read and it's just so good, my expectations were really high. So it was a cute book and I liked it. It was decent. It's nice. Fairly clean book. There's a little bit like of language and a couple comments here and there. So, but other than that, it was nothing crazy, typical Catherine Center, which this book is about a girl who paints portraits for a living, but she has an accident and she ends up with face blindness. So she can't see people's facial features. She knows that there's people there. She can see the people, but she can't like put it all together in her mind to recognize people, which obviously a big part of painting portraits, so it's kind of an issue. There's also like a romance in it, so that was interesting too. So it was just a very cute kind of rom-com kind of a book, just a kind of easy read. So I was like, I needed something to like, especially because I was in like fantasy books. Only a Monster, those are both close to 500 pages I think each, so I was like, I just needed something short, sweet, and fun, and that's what this book was. It was 3 stars for me. It wasn't the absolute best book I ever read, but it was not bad by any means. It was very entertaining, very cute, so I like that one. Then after that, I read I'll Tell You No Lies by Amanda Macrina, I think is how you, Macrina? I don't know how to say that last name. This one, I was just at the library browsing. It looked interesting, and it was a nice, again, short book. I'm like, I just need some short books. So this one was really short. I was like, let's pick it up, let's try it. It's kind of like an after World War II story. It was bad. It was awful. This one, I rated 2 stars. I maybe could have rated it 1, but I was kind of generous and rated it 2 because it was a little bit interesting, but the main character kind of had no point in the story. Like, I read a review on Goodreads and this girl summed it up really well. She wrote a really long review, so I can't even read it for you guys, but she like summed it up really well of like there was just no depth to the story and the main character kind of seemed pointless. And so it was just very random. I don't even know if I could sum it up for you guys. It was a very weird book. It was a YA fiction. So it's her dad in the military, and he's in charge of the interrogation of an escaped Soviet pilot. They think is a double agent, and I don't know, things happen. She helps like hide him, and nothing that the main character did improved the story, if that makes any sense. There were like these clues that the main character found, but didn't know what to do with them, so she didn't do anything with them. But then it all works out. It was really weird. I feel really bad, but it was just all over the place. The other thing is, it felt like the author did no research for this book whatsoever. A lot of the things that the author mentions just felt like very current times when it's supposed to be set in like 1950s. I think the 1950s. And it's just like, she's talking about iced coffee, which I guess they probably drank iced coffee, but I just feel like that wasn't a common thing. Like when I think of the 1950s, I don't think of iced coffee. Like if someone's like gonna order a drink in a 1950s movie or book, and it has to be cold because it's really hot where they are, I feel like they typically would get like iced tea or lemonade or Coke, because that was current and like the new fun drink kind of a thing. Like I just don't think iced coffee. So I know, like, I don't know. It was just things like that that just didn't make sense. It felt like a very unresearched book. So yeah, that was a bit of a dud, if you can't tell, which is sad, but it is what it is. Then the last one, I'm going to throw it in here. Technically haven't finished it yet, but I am filming this a few days before the end of October. I'm almost done with this book. I know I'll finish it before October, so I'm like, I'm going to go ahead, throw it in, which is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. If you have not seen this on social media, I'm sorry, but you must be living under a rock, because I feel like all I hear anybody talk about is this book. Everyone's ranting and raving about it, so I'm like, I'm gonna do it, get my hands on it, and read it. So obviously I don't have a final rating on it right now. I feel like the world's gonna be mad at me, but right now I'm feeling like a 4-star rating. I know for everyone else it's been 5 stars. I do really like the book and I'm really enjoying it, but I feel like it maybe could have been broken up into 2 books. It's feeling a little bit long. I still have about 100 pages left, and I'm like, this feels like it's taking a while and could have been broken up into separate books. But that's just me. Like I said, I really am enjoying it. I do love how it has that, definitely has a Hunger Games feel to it. I, in my head, was thinking it's very much Hunger Games meets Shatter Me, is really the feeling I'm getting from it, because some people have powers, some don't, and then the trials feels like the Hunger Games. So it's kind of gives me that like 2016 book reading feeling. So I do love it for that aspect of it. So that is where I'm at. Like I said, that might be a 4-star when I'm done. We'll see. I might change. If the ending is crazy and like something crazy happens, it might end up a 5-star, but right now we're sitting at a 4-star. But that is all of my books that I've read in the last 2 months for September and October. Again, I know it's not many, but it's all I have the time for. You know, I'm a mom, so there's only so much I can do. I did just buy A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber, because that has just released. So I am excited to read that. I think that's going to be next on the list once I finish Powerless. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and hear my thoughts on the different books I've read the past couple of months. Of course, if you did enjoy it, as always, like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell. And yeah, I guess I will see you guys next time in my next video. Bye!
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know, if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down. so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know, really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down. Even if the sky is falling down.